Live from the Story Arts Center in Toronto, I'm Adrian Defoe.
And I'm Sarah Lee Hackshaw, and this is The Journal. Hi, and welcome to The Journal. Today we'll be talking about Toronto's best worst comedy troupe, reality stars, Indigenous arts, and lingerie.
Our first feature on today's show is about a comedy troupe, Dog Shirt, who became YouTube famous after one of the key members decided to eat a picture of Jason Segel's face every day for a year. Let's check it out.
Oh, well, great.
Sorry, my phone's blowing up.
You should actually turn it on, because that could create such a genuine... If you plan this, if you get someone to text you in 3 minutes, that'll create a really funny moment on the screen. We'll be like, what happened?
Well, that's just what happened right now.
But remind me before it happens.
But I'm not... No, because then it's not going to be organic. And this footage is going to be in it. And then they're going to show the second footage of the joke, and it's not...
I'm wearing a wire! Are we going? So, I think the original idea was I was going to eat a $5 bill every day until the government got mad at me. But that would be too expensive.
And illegal, I think.
Yeah, kind of illegal.
think
But
you
it's
can
like
eat-
plastic money, so I think it would come out. It would fuck me up. But then we started thinking, and there was no real thought behind it. It just kind of came out, and we all laughed at it. And it was just someone not crazy famous that we were trying to get their attention and just do this stupid thing. But obviously, it was like a one-off video for us.
Yeah.
We thought we were just going to make it, and it's like fighting to make that goal, but it not happen. So then we made the video, came out, and all our friends thought it was really funny. And just between our friends and stuff, it probably got like 200 shares on Facebook. And we were like, oh, this is so funny that people actually think it's cool. And then we made a joke. We thought it'd be so funny to get 700 views by the end of the day. By the morning, it had like 100,000 views, and it was like the top thing on Reddit or something.
Say something. But you don't have, you can stop. You don't have to, really, you don't.
No, he's got to eat the photo. I mean, listen, this is a challenge.
We do the show every month. We'll book the show with just our favorite comedians from around. And then every month we'll also find a special act.
Usually within the days of.
Usually the day of. So we've had an ocarina player that I found just sitting on the side of the road.
We had that Screamo guy.
Screamo guy. Yeah, on this show we have a guy singing Kiss from a Rose, but Screamo that I found the day of from Buns. We've had just people we think are bizarre that we see at karaoke bars headline and just sing the same song we saw them do. So we book the show, and we start promoting the show, and then probably the week before we start talking about what we want the show to be, we just keep playing music, hanging out, and whatever makes us laugh we'll do. And we like how frantic it is, and how fast we have to come up with it if we think of it the day of is worked for us a lot. us together is something that doesn't exist in comedy, I think. I think we're doing different, and that's such a crazy thing to say, but for us it feels like.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing what we're doing.
I think
And why would you want to stray away from that?
Yeah, we really, really take pride. I think above anything is that we're doing something that's different.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of even if it goes well or like it's the funniest idea we've ever had, like if we think it's so weird and no one's done it before,
We hate to see the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, just what we're doing now is great. And I think since the beginning of Dog Shirt, each week we're doing more and more.
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to go up and kind of be doing whatever, like regardless of what we're doing. We know that it's the three of us, and we know that it'll be fine because we are all looking out for each other, and we know that everything's gonna end up fine and probably fun and good, which is also nice.
Really skyrocketed it for us where we can confidently be like, we're comedians, we're gonna make stuff. So I feel good about everything, and I feel like everything we want to do is attainable because of where we are and how lucky we've been and hard we work and we stay who we are.
Wow, I definitely remember hearing about that Eat My Face Seagull thing. I wonder what I could do to become YouTube famous. Either way, those guys seem like a lot of fun. What do you think, Sarah Lee?
They did seem like they're having a lot of fun. Performing live with new material all the time must be difficult, but they seem to be pulling it off.
Speaking of performing live, do you know that we have a live music performance coming up next?
Oh really? I can't wait.
Let's head back to the studio where our musical guest, Harrison Smith, has been getting ready to perform a long time running by the Tragically Hip. This one's for you, Gord.
Does your mother tell you things long, long when I'm gone? And who you talking to? She telling you I'm the one. It's a grave mistake. Wide awake. Driving's rained out. Weatherman with fingers to sky. He pokes it out. Pulls it in, he don't know why. It's the same mistake, and it's been a long time running, and it's been a long coming. It's well worth the wait. We don't go anywhere, just on a trip. We haven't seen a thing. We still don't know where it is. It's a safe mistake, and it's been a long time running, and it's been a long time coming. mistake. Dead to rights and wide awake. I'll drop a caribou. I'll tell on you. I'll tell on you. I'll tell on you. Got a boatload of nerve, but I would say you've been told. You work me against my friends, and you're getting left out in the cold. It's the same mistake. It's been a long time running. And it's been a long time coming. And it's been a long time running. It's been a long time coming. It's the same mistake.
All right, that was great, man.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
No problem. What's up next for you?
I've actually got a performance this Saturday at Snack Market.
Okay. Perfect. All right, you guys heard it here. All right, up next, we have a doc about a couple people who know a lot about being constantly watched.
Adrian, don't say it like that. You make it sound creepy. Actually, our next story looks at the price of temporary fame. Big Brother Canada's most iconic duo talk about life after the house. Let's take a look.
Big Brother Canada puts 18 very different people in a house for 3 months, isolated entirely from society, technology, and all other human contact. As time goes on, the house guests are made to battle each other in competitions and vote each other out of the house. At the end of the 3 months, a winner is voted for by a jury of the house guests who are voted out, and the winner receives a cash prize of $100,000 as well as various large gift cards. It's a wild ride and brings fame to people who may have otherwise never experienced the level of exposure and popularity they receive. However, few people consider the effects this temporary fame has upon the house guests once they are released to the world after being isolated for months in a house where they are constantly paranoid and filmed 24/7 for people to watch on live stream. So the question I aim to answer is, what is life like after Big Brother?
Even though Canada's a bigger country, we have like a few major city. Canada's a bigger country.
Than U.S.?
Canada is physically bigger than the U.S.
Is it really?
My name's Netta Kalantar. I'm from Big Brother Canada Season 2 and 5. Season 2, I came in 3rd place, and Season 5, I don't want to talk about it.
What's up, guys? My name is John Party from Season 2, and how did I do in Season 2?
I have to vote out someone tonight, and unfortunately, I choose to evict Netta.
Netta's next.
Oh, God.
Netta has voted for John.
Oh, yeah. One.
First things first, from your seasons, the finale wraps, the season's over, and you're released to the world. What's the first thing that you both did?
We had very different experiences with Season 2, because like they literally sequestered us like right after the finale in different rooms or whatever. So I'm crying my eyes out in this room alone, and I
I'm
could hear
drinking.
him celebrating in the room next door with his family.
We were right next to each other, weren't we?
Yeah, we were right next to each other. I'm like
Production
crying with
dicks.
the therapist. I could hear him celebrating. But no, both seasons I literally just became obsessed with my sister, didn't leave her alone. And I was like, even season 5, I saw you right away. I was like, tell me everything. I'm like, I know everything. Who hated me, who liked me, who backstabbed me, what did I do, what did I say? Like, I want to know everything. And I go back and I rewatch everything almost right away.
Yeah, I guess a little bit different, like coming out of a win. Like there's more so I didn't care who said what happened, who hated me, who loved me, didn't matter to me at all. I think the biggest thing was being away from your friends and family for that long. You just kind of want to immerse yourself right back into that group of people. And after a win, you drink a lot of beers too.
And so what have you both been up to after the show?
People think $100,000 is like so much money, but honestly, when you want to do some traveling, you want to reroute your whole life to come to Toronto, it's a great life starter, but you definitely need to start, I guess, building on that, the platform that you
Like
started.
anyone who's like, oh, 100,000 is a lot, like they clearly didn't have debts before the show.
Yeah, everyone's just like, oh, you want 100K? Like, what are you doing now? I'm like,
I
still
paid
not
off
having
my
100K.
debts.
Like, it was 4 years ago, nutbags. Like, a lot of partying too. That was pretty fun after the show. Be able to.
Our relationship.
Oh, our relationship. Yes. A lot of drinking. I'm just kidding. No. No, so after the show, obviously me and Netta got extremely close when we were on the show. After the show, decided to try to see what it was. Started dating, and then and then we decided to try the living together thing in Newfoundland. Yeah. Went fairly well. Yeah, moved to Toronto, lived together. Ended up breaking up in probably a year and a half after.
Still lived together for like 4 months after we broke up.
Yeah, from like together, like a lull to not great friends. It was like, I think we were always great friends, had that spark, then kind of just went into just great friends.
Can you speak to how famous people think they're going to be when they get off the show?
It totally changes season by season what people expect. I find the more actual fans are inside the house, the more you know like what to expect. So I went in there knowing fame doesn't come from this.
Sure.
No, but season 2, I remember like it was like Delhi. You guys just didn't know. You're like, we are on a big Canadian television show. We should be getting opportunities, whatever. But season 5, it felt like people knew. Like you don't really get it. It's like what, like maybe like 3 or 4 people that come out of each season with like a big following, and they feel like they actually accomplished something. You know what I mean? And I feel like that does hurt a lot of people when they're like they come off a season. They're like, oh wow, I wasn't the biggest deal on there or something. So like.
What impact does being on the show before, during, and after have on your mental health as a house guest?
I never had anxiety or depression or anything before going on Big Brother. Season 2, I didn't feel it at all in the house. It wasn't until I left afterwards and I was like, what is this feeling? Started looking into it, started talking to other people going through it, and then like legit anxiety set in. It's just like, I guess, things trigger it in your 20s. So I feel like a lot of people do have to like deal with that. I don't know what it is, like if it's the conditions of the house. Like you're stuck indoors 24/7. You don't have the option of going outside when you want to go outside. Your season 5 was really tough for me because I didn't have like the one person or like the Deli and the Heather I connect with. So like it does make you so depressed in there. So I felt like after season 2, I had a lot of anxiety. Season 5 was shittier time in the house, but afterwards, because I knew how to like deal with everything, I had a much easier time with everything.
I never really, I'm trying to think. I don't think before the show there was ever one thing that would ever stress me out or ever make me think twice about anything. I feel like after the show, I think, it's a complete change, or it was
for me.
It's
like a weird pressure on you.
It was for me. And I think you almost get that, like, you come out of the show on such a high and like people are stopping you on the streets and that kind of thing. And you get that for like 2 months, think it's going to be like, oh, this is going to be like such a sick life. Then after those 2 months, it just starts to slowly go down. There's a new season, then no one really cares. I think people struggle with that a lot too. You kind of get that 15 minutes, but it is only for 15 minutes and then it's absolutely gone. It definitely takes a toll mentally, like mental health wise. And I think after, like, no one really talks about it, I think after, like, you have the opportunity to see a psychiatrist, like, as much as you want, and I really think that people shouldn't be afraid to utilize that that resource that is given to you, because if you do wait and try to deal with it on your own, I don't think that it's really possible after going through a traumatic experience.
What do you wish someone had told you before you went on the show?
I wish someone had told me that it wouldn't be life-changing. Again, me, a small-town kid from Newfoundland, like if someone goes away and does like a national TV show, like you assume that like, holy shit, they've made it, like there it is. I wish someone had told me that.
I told you in the house, you guys just didn't believe me.
No,
I'm like,
30
no, you guys are not going to be making paper. Like
97% of the things you told me in the house were bullshit. Like it was like you just lied to me every day, all day. I didn't know what the fuck to. I didn't know what to think. So and Deli was like, "We're gonna be so rich," and I was just like, "Fucking A, this is epic." And came out, like made some money for the first month after, and then you're like, "Oh, well, that just took a turn." You know what I mean? But yeah, I wish someone told me like to take it as the experience. Just have fun. Now I did have a lot of fun anyway, but it's just like I think a lot of people need to be told to take it as an experience. Don't go in and be 100% serious. I don't think. Like definitely go try to win, play the game, but don't take it like it's a life or death or like a life-changing opportunity.
it's your one and last opportunity to change
It's
things.
not, because like a lot of people on this show are so young too, and they feel like, oh, like we've peaked right now. It's like, shit, son, if you're peaking for something that happened in 3 months, like that's too bad. The biggest thing that Big Brother can give to you is connections and networking. I think you need to realize how to utilize those connections and networking as soon as you come out, which is so tough. That's another thing I'd probably say is when you come out of the house, don't think that things are going to come to you. When you come out, as big as you are right now, you still need to go and grind to get the things that you want out of Big Brother. Because I feel like there's a small window after the show of people kind of want you. They still want to see you. They still want to talk to you. And I think
you got to be smart. You got to be really proactive about it because you can't wait too long. People usually wait for the next season, and then they start like putting out their streams or putting out their whatever. It's like, no, right
Start
after.
now.
Come off this season, be like, what do I actually want to do with my life? And try and use Big Brother as much as you can to get there, because you're only going to have a few months to do that. So if you do want to use Big Brother to achieve something afterwards, that would be our suggestion.
Yes.
But I mean, if you don't care and you're just there for the game, who cares?
Do you think that being on the show does end up being a positive experience for people?
yes.
100%.
Yeah.
It's definitely a positive experience. Like, I feel like I've had one of the shittiest times on the show.
Yes.
And if I can still say it was a positive experience, I think it's a positive
You don't,
experience.
yeah, and like,
I think my biggest piece of advice would be if you're going on the show to fix your life, don't do it. It's not going to fix anything. It's going to make it worse. You're going to leave and be like, wow, it didn't fix anything. What the hell?
And in order to win, if you're looking to go in there for money too, listen, stipend, head to KFC or something. Like grab a job, because that's all. Like stipend's literally just like a minimum wage, kind of get you through, be able to pay your bills. And if you think you're going in to win the $100,000, you need a lot of friggin' luck.
Don't go in there to
Like
change your life. Don't go in there to
No.
fix something. Go in there for the experience, and then you'll come out just as happy. Big Brother was definitely a positive experience. I got to live out my dream 2 times.
And Big Brother was definitely positive for me because I got some cash.
And me.
And yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about the after effects about being locked in the Big Brother house. Next up, local artist Jay Soul paints a new picture of what being an Indigenous artist can mean in Canada.
Well, I'm known as Chippewa in the Native community. I'm a multidisciplinary artist working in many different medias. I primarily work as a painter. I also have a clothing line, and I work as a tattoo artist and piercer. My latest series have been movie poster art, where I have taken the 40s and 50s movie poster art and indigenized them, you know, so Frankenstein becomes Frankensuit, etc. And one of my last series too was 80s Cult Classics. And the idea with them is also to create a conversation just about how, you know, cultural appropriation that happens within Hollywood, and how Hollywood has just helped create the stereotypes about Indigenous people. And it's also too just, you know, to have some fun. The Indigenous community influenced me a lot in my work, and I guess the surroundings and things that I'm seeing around me and what friends go through and family go through and what's happening, you know, in today's climate. Reclaim Indigenous Arts was created as an awareness campaign and a call to action I created with Nadine St. Louis from Montreal. She runs Ashiken Cultural Centre, which is, I guess, the only cultural incubator in Canada which supports Indigenous artists in remote areas. When you have internationally made goods coming in from overseas, like mukluks and moccasins, and you're devaluing Indigenous artists' work. A good example is the Dreamcatcher. So this is a Dreamcatcher made by an Anishinaabe woman. It's 100% authentic and handmade. It's made of all natural materials, so there's no metal, no plastic. The feather is real, and this is just a good example of Indigenous artists doing their craft. And these are the sort of things, I carry these here in my store, and they're just, they're 100% authentic, and I'm supporting an Indigenous woman to do her work, and I think that's really important. The idea, first and foremost, of the campaign is not to punish people or not to make enemies. We want to create allies within businesses and stores that feel that there is a market to sell Indigenous craft. Part of the website's initiative is a letter writing campaign. And the idea is that you'll print the letter. So if you're in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and you come across a gift shop and they're selling these internationally made arts and crafts, you can send a letter to the owner of that store and let them know who they're hurting, how it hurts, why it's inappropriate, and how they can correct their behavior by supporting an Indigenous artist who creates that work. These are they're not mass-produced beadwork. This is another young woman who, that's what she does. That's how she earns her living, is just by making beaded jewelry. A young woman like her who's is raising a family should be supported doing her arts and her craft. Like 70% of the Indigenous community in Canada support themselves through some form of arts, whether it's musicians, people in film and television, arts, crafts, painters, writers, all kinds of artisans. You have to understand, as our #1 independent economy, it should be protected.
That is a very unique point of view. It's always interesting to hear how art can affect a community and how they are personally influenced, which leads us to our next segment. It's time to strap in for our next and final doc, where designer Avery Barsony aims to break down body boundaries with her lingerie for women of all shapes and sizes.
My name is Avery Barsony. I'm 22, almost 23 years old, and I'm the owner, designer, head and only seamstress, and photographer, and social media manager of Betty Fatal. When I make lingerie, I feel like I don't, buying lingerie for me has always been hard because I don't feel like I see anything that looks like me. Because lingerie for me, designing, it's one thing, but it didn't start off as a way for me to design. It started off as a really personal journey. So that's why I'm doing part of it is my personal blog. My personal Instagram is kind of the process of me making pieces and me experimenting with pieces, and I use lingerie in my own journey in trying to find body acceptance, which is super fucking hard as a fat woman trying to do lingerie. Sometimes I make stuff for myself and I'll post a picture and I'll be like, loving this new thing I made, and then people are like, please put it for sale. When I did my first real collection, and I had a runway show for it, I felt like this is me. I loved it, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. But after I finished it, I was so proud of myself because my models were amazing. I had every different thing I could think of represented. Everyone felt so good, and I loved that my models all connected with each other. Everyone stays in contact and stays friends. And that was the first big thing I did where I'm okay, this is what I want to do. Everyone had fun, everyone felt good in what they were wearing. It was a huge thing for me to take on, and it wasn't perfect, but I was yes, I want to go forward from here. Betty Fatal sells through Wix. That's what I use to make my storefront. I'm on Instagram, Tumblr. One of the reasons I have so many different social media platforms is that I interact with everyone as much as I can who follows me. You know, I've become friends with some of my top customers, my clients who buy from me again and again. And there are people who want to support a good ethical company. They want to see themselves reflected, but they're all so sweet. Like honestly, I think I have the best customers in the world. Japan or Malaysia? Yeah, so I said like New Zealand was far. I sell to Australia a lot, mostly over like Western Europe, not as much as Eastern Europe, and not as much in Asia. But I sell a lot in the States. I could expand a lot quicker if I was making cheap products. Like I could outsource my labor to be a lot cheaper. People know. If people who are buying luxury lingerie can tell the difference. My problem is lace. I buy so much lace. I'm totally a lace addict. That's my favorite thing, is buying lace and designing around it. I have so much lace that I hoard. So this is a project I'm working on right now. This is a new pattern I'm developing. So there's 2 pieces for the crotch. The back is at least 3 pieces. Center front, the 2 side panels, a 3-part cup, a second 3-part cup, a gore lining, a side part lining, straps, back piece, there will be a clip, channeling, elastic, lace on the cup, lace on here, to make like just this bodysuit, which is, it's not simple, but it's not one of the most elaborate pieces I've done. It was funny, like Betty Fatal originally I didn't feel like I was, like it was like a persona I took on when I had to like deal with some serious shit. Like when I was like, okay, it's time to try and be a bad bitch, I'm like, oh, I'm not a bad bitch. So it's like, okay, but Betty Fatal is. You can tell, I mean, at least for me, I can tell by my posts, like how I'm posing in them, whether I feel like it's me or whether it's, like sometimes it's me, it's Avery, like trying to push herself to be Betty. It's like, okay, you're gonna, even though this scares the shit out of you, like wearing a bikini cut brief scares the shit out of me, but I'm like, okay, but yeah, but Betty doesn't care. I'm trying less to be like Betty versus Avery because it's, at the end of the day, it's me. So I used to be very much like, this is a persona I have to take on, whereas now I'm just trying to be like, it's a part of my personality that I'm trying to allow to come out more. I feel like Betty's like more like my ideals of everything like I want, and like personally I'm like more timid than I think people realize. Like Betty is like my face, my brand, who is like someone who's working hard on self-love and self-care, who's working hard at like breaking down boundaries of like, you know, body guides of like what you can wear and what you can't, and you know what looks good on each skin tone and all that kind of stuff. And I'm in the back like trying to, you know, be a part of that.
Amazing work. Betty Fatal is certainly one of a kind.
Unfortunately, that's a wrap for today. Tune in live tomorrow for a brand new episode.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
For the Journal, I'm Adrian.
And I'm Sarah Lee, and
thanks for watching.